Saxon has been very busy. This is my fourth time reviewing one of the new releases in the little over 3 years that this channel has been up. They have released 2 studio albums and 2 covers albums in the past 4 years. Now, I've never been a big fan of covers albums, but they were not too bad. The covers albums were inspirations and more inspirations, and the last studio album released about 2 years ago in 2022 was called Carpe Diem. But I remember this very well. It was during the Omicron wave of COVID. I had a pretty bad case of it back then. I was quarantined in my room. I spent a lot of time listening to the album Carpe Diem. And now they have a new album, Hellfire and Damnation. This band keeps getting better. I'm not going to go into any history or anything. I have been preparing a ranking video, and that will come out in about a week. I still have to listen to a few more albums, but in general, this is just a really great album. Hellfire and Damnation, their 24th studio album, released on Silver Lining Music. The opening track is an intro track called Prophecy. It's pretty good. Kind of sounds like the intro to like a monster movie with these like ominous tones and evil voices in the background, and you hear a voice talking about powers of good and evil. This introduces the next song. It's basically an intro track to Hellfire and Damnation, the first single. The band here is showing us they have not lost any of their heaviness. Biff Byford's voice sounds just as good as ever. The song has a really big sound, heavy distorted guitar, soaring vocals, lyrics about the battle of good and evil. There's a breakdown where everything slows down. They introduce melodic guitars. This band sounds very good for the stage in their career. They've not really lost their edge. Then we have Madame Guillotine. This has a cool bass guitar intro, kind of slowly builds up. Has a really heavy and bouncy rhythm. The lyrics are about Marie Antoinette. They call her Madame Guillotine. Song tells a specific story from history. Song has a catchy chorus and some clever lyrics. And they slow it down and bring in some clean guitars in the breakdown. Fire and Steel is a fast and heavy song with some thunderous guitars and rapid fire drums. This one has a sound reminiscent of Judas Priest's Painkiller album. The lyrics are not anything new, but Biff Byford has a way of describing this big monster or something made of fire and steel. The song is everything you would expect. A nice blend of heaviness, melody, and has some shredding solos and fast rhythms. They had a second single called There's Something in Roswell. This has some like science fiction themed lyrics. The heaviness is still intact. I like the song, has some slower rhythms. I like the guitar tone. It's really heavy and chunky. The lyrics tell a story of a UFO kind of crashes like in this farm, and they find the wreckage, and you know, a typical story like that. It has a catchy chorus and heavy distorted guitars. We have Kubla Khan and the Merchant of Venice. That's another history song. It's the story of Kublai Khan, Mongol Emperor of China, grandson of Genghis Khan. And it's a really good track. Has some classic heavy metal guitar riffs. Reminded me of some 80s Iron Maiden, and lots of blazing solos and fast rhythms. Then we have Pirates of the Airwaves. This is a song about those radio pirates who would have those like illegal radio stations many years ago. This one had more of that classic sound from the early 80s period, but still pretty good. The next song is called 1066. This is about the year, obviously 1066. They talk about the Saxons and the Vikings and marching to battle, and a lot of history going on here. This one is darker and it's heavier. It's classic heavy metal. I like it. Has some heavy parts. It has some slower melodic breakdowns. It has really great, nice lead guitar solos. This was a really good one. The next song is called The Witches of Salem, and I guess it's pretty self-explanatory what it's about. It's a dark and heavy, like traditional heavy metal song. So if you think of those bands like Angel Witch, Witchfinder General, the modern bands like Burning Witches, or any other metal band with witch in their name, it's traditional heavy metal with like those like dark occult themes. I really like this track. I think this is one of the standouts. Final track is called Supercharger, and it's straightforward. Lyrics seem to be about, I think it's race cars or something like that. I didn't have a copy of the lyrics, but I was just going by what I heard. It's a decent song, has lots of energy, has fast pace, and a lot of melody and guitar riffs as well. So, now for my final thoughts, it's a very good album. I think it's better than Carpe Diem, and I think the album has a lot going for it. So I kind of like broke it down And the first aspect is the heaviness and the distortion. It's a really heavy album, so I really like that aspect of it. I like Biff Byford's vocals. He really sounds as good as ever, and he just like he really has a good vocal range. I mean, even still. And I like the narrative storytelling aspect of it because we have a lot of tracks that are like about like real history stories, such as Madame Guillotine, the Kubla Khan and the Merchant of Venice, 1066. Like they tell stories in the lyrics, so they're actually interesting to tell. So if you like that type of stuff in metal, it's really cool. You get a free history lesson, and you know I like that if you watch my channel. I also like the fact that there's variety in the tempos. So some of them go really fast, sometimes they slow it down. For example, tracks like There's Something in Roswell is a little slower than faster paced songs like Supercharger. It's really good, but it's all like metal songs. There's no ballads on here. It's all heavy metal, but there is a little variety in the tempos. I also like the guitar solos and the riffs. They're just very consistent throughout the album, and they just contribute to the album's energy. That's really great. I like the classic metal sound. So Saxon, they maintain that heavy metal sound. They do draw influences from their early 80s period, but not too much. To be honest with you, you're going to see when I do my ranking, I'm going to put a lot of those 80s albums that kind of like towards the end. I like their newer stuff better. That's just my personal preference, but this band still kind of pays homage to their roots while kind of incorporating the modern elements. And the last point I'm going to talk about is the consistency of the album. I think it has a lot of diverse themes. There's a lot of history. There's talking about battles between good and evil, the science fiction, and there's like witches, and then there's like all different kind of stuffs. But the songwriting is very cohesive. Like every song sounds like it's from the same band. So I really like that aspect of it. My final score is an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Check out my review right here of the previous Saxon studio album, Carpe Diem. Please don't forget to show your support. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell me your favorite tracks. Do you like the singles? I'm kind of reviewing this early, but if you're watching it while it's out, let me know what you think of the album. And of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more metal and rock content. I'll see you in the next one.